Hi, welcome to Voices. I am your host, Keith Major. Northern Caribbean University has trained many of the workers in the Atlantic Caribbean Union field. Today, as my special guest, is the president of that university, Dr. Trevor Gardner. Dr. Gardner, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Pleasure to be here.
Great. Dr. Gardner, you've been president of the Northern Caribbean University for about 3 years now.
That's right.
You stepped into what some believe some really big shoes.
Yes.
Tell us a bit, how is it going now? What's going on at the university?
It's going well, despite challenges. There are always challenges in academic environments. Despite the challenges, however, we can point to several successes. We are on a winning trail. We're thriving, both in academics and in the achievement of our students, both nationally and internationally. Maybe one or two examples might serve. You know that we have this great history with technology.
Yes.
Microsoft, we won the Microsoft competition in 2010. We continue to advance the technology agenda. We have received significant recognition, not only in Jamaica, but across the Inter-America division. For every competition we go in, our students come out first. So we have done well, and that's well known. The new area that we are making significant strides in is in business. We just had the last year our first exposure to an international business model competition. In Jamaica, when the dust was settled, we were number 1 and number 3, including all the tertiary institutions who applied and participated. That took us to Utah in the United States. And during that occasion, we competed with over 200 institutions from across the world. We came in number 8 in that situation in the world, but we beat all the international schools. Okay. The only schools that beat us were in the United States. Number 7 was Harvard. So I think we're in good company.
Oh, Dr. Gardner, we could end this interview right here. My next question was going to be, tell me why should I come to Northern Caribbean University with all of these universities in these various territories? Why? And you just told me you came in one step before Harvard.
One step after Harvard.
After Harvard.
Right.
And what can be compared, I guess, to the Olympics?
Precisely. We have really done well at the university academically. And as I watch the progress that we have made in different fields, the administration and the faculty is pretty satisfied that we're on the right trajectory. In the area of research, we have moved into new areas of research. We have expanded our curriculum to include more focus on the health professions. And we are realizing through that pursuit a significant outcome in terms of students' interest, etc. Some of the professions do not even require a full degree program. Some of them are, especially in the health profession, there are significant health professions that are technical programs. So we're training people 1 year and 2 years, and they're ready for the market.
Let's come back to that, Doc. I want to hear a little bit more about that, but I want to ask you a question first. At one point, the Northern Caribbean University was considered, I guess, the largest Seventh-day Adventist, English-speaking Seventh-day Adventist university in terms of enrollment. Is that still the case?
It still holds that distinction. Now, I need to say, in the last 5 years or so, we had a dip from the figure we had in 2010. And it had been going down for about 3 years. But this January, we increased our enrollment by 37%.
And how did you do that?
Serious, committed work on the part of our administration University Relations Office, that was that under whose portfolio recruitment comes.
Okay.
And they have done a fantastic job in putting admissions and recruitment together. And for the first time in 5 years, we saw a 37% increase in January. And because of the same thrust we're having, we anticipate we'll see an increase in September also.
Beautiful. How many, are you happy with the percentage of students that come from the Atlantic Caribbean Union, the Cayman Islands, Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas? When I attended NCU, well, back then it was West Indies College in 1970 to 72, we used to have a huge contingent there. But of course, we didn't have competing universities. Are you happy with that level of participation?
I'm never happy that I have enough coming from the Atlantic Caribbean Union. But I need to say, Bahamian contingent is still the largest international contingent on the campus. So you're well represented, but I'm not happy. I'd like to see more.
You like to see more?
Yes, because Bahamian students have been good students. They have distinguished themselves. They have not only graduated from the institution, but they have come back to their country and they have served it well. So I'd like to see more of them coming out. And we are doing everything we possibly can to buttress them. I know one of the problems of Bahamians not coming in the numbers they used to come is the accommodation, residences, and so on. And I'd like to say here that we are in collaboration with a banking system in Jamaica now, that within the next 18 months, our projection is to have a new facility for residents. I said that 3 years ago, after I'd just taken up this position, believing I would have had it accomplished by then, but I think we are much closer now to having that accomplished. Modern facility with all the technology, the relaxing environments, the lounges and so on that we should expect. We'll have that there.
Beautiful. The campus is a very beautiful campus. I go there twice per year for board meetings. I love the campus. But tell me, are there any plans afoot to have a campus in the Bahamas, or has that changed, or what? What's the status on that?
We have been talking about that for a long time, and a year and a half ago, we actually started the journey. And so now we are putting final documents to submit to the government to have the campus extension here, which would be a great experience for those who want to go to the institution, to save them some money in terms of where they enter and so on. If they want to start here, then come there. It would help some of them to be able to do that. So that's still under it's still a work in progress.
In progress, Yes. I think it would be a great thing because of the large West Indian population here. And also people want another option, another Christian university option. And I'm pretty sure that'll do well when it comes here.
I hope we'll be that option.
And of course, health is always a great topic out here. Let's talk a little bit more about the health profession. Tell me a little bit about why is this so attractive, and what are some of the detailed professions now? I thought it was just a doctor, a nurse, or a dentist.
No. You see, one of the things that's happening now is that people are for the first time really seriously looking at health. What we used to do is we're sick, we go to the doctor. People are realizing that going to the doctor and getting pills and what have you, in many cases, help to create another health problem. So we are going back to the heritage of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and it's a heritage of health. As a church has grown, the health profession within the Seventh-day Adventist Church has grown. And so the intention here is to begin to supplement traditional health with nutraceutical health provisions, both in pharmaceuticals and in foods and so on. Because over the time period that we have been running as a church, and that's about 125 years now, the health message has been central to who we are. But we, like everybody else, we got caught up with being like everybody else. And what we are realizing is that the Seventh-day Adventist people, and the people in general, who look at natural health and try to lead a lifestyle of that nature, add about 7 to 10 years to their lifespan. And most of them, their adding those years are not just years on drugs. They are years that are active and productive years. And so to that extent, the institution has taken a commitment toward advancing these health professions.
Okay.
The other thing we know is that nutraceuticals, natural health products, is the fastest growing financial and economic entity right now of all professions, all directions in the world today. It is purported that it is going to replace oil because people, the whole world population is looking and say, how do I maintain good health? Not just how do I get a pill today to take me into tomorrow, but how do I construct a good healthy lifestyle and maintain it? And so to that extent, we are bringing in about 7 new disciplines within the health field into Northern Caribbean University. The one technologically associated is informatics, where a person can get a whole degree or an associate degree in information that helps to facilitate the medical profession going forward. Then there are professions in cardiovascular care, where we know that we can advance the cardiovascular care through more pragmatic assessment, so that we can then use nutraceutical products to address those problems rather than pharmaceutical products. And we'll find a different result in that direction.
Okay, great. Dr. Gardner, this is all great, and it ties in with, I think, the World Church's emphasis in uniting health and evangelism. You are prepared to prepare us, because the examples of how we live, and I guess you're trying to make us like a Loma Linda. I read an article where there were 10 places in the world where people live longest. And one of those, the only place in North America was Loma Linda and its people.
Correct.
Certainly you're following that.
Indeed. Yeah. And they attribute that to the healthy lifestyle of Seventh-day Adventists.
And we have those secrets.
Yes, sir.
This is my guest, Dr. Trevor Gardner, President of Northern Caribbean University. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I have a question for Dr. Gardner. Is it true that the university will be moving into research on medical marijuana? We'll be right back.
Hello there. I have a question for you. What's in your mouth? You see, if I was at home, my mouth would probably be filled with food. But today, our mouths are filled with so many things. We're filled with sorrow, filled with pain. Our mouths are filled with gossip and profanities. But I submit to you this Bible text right here, Psalms chapter 71, verse 8. My mouth shall be filled continually with the splendor of your glory. I think if we decide to fill our mouths with the glory of God, His goodness, His love, His mercy, the pain that we feel, the sorrow that we experience, all of the profanities and the gossiping will find its exit, because the glory of God is so much. It fills our heart, and it has to come out somewhere. And the same mouth that we use to, fill up with all those things that don't necessarily help us, is going to truly glory God. So I encourage you today, think about the goodness of God. Think about what He has done for you, and use that mouth to glorify God.
Welcome back to Voices. I am your host, Keith Major. My special guest from Jamaica, heading our campus in Mandeville, Jamaica, Northern Caribbean University, Dr. Trevor Gardner. Dr. Gardner, just before the break, I mentioned I'd ask you this question. Is it true that the university will be doing research in the area of medical marijuana?
It is true. Now,
pause, Doc. We will be researching medical marijuana.
That is true.
You just lost half the church, Doc.
No.
Please, restore them back.
I bring them back. I
Yes.
think that the church would love what we're doing.
Okay.
Marijuana is a plant that has tremendous medical healing potential on the one hand.
Right.
On the other hand, it is a dangerous social challenge to any society not properly utilized.
Now, Doc, you know all the people 60 years and over just turned the television off.
No, they're going to listen now.
Okay, Doc, let's go.
You see, being in that age group myself,
Right. Yes, sir.
I know that they are anxious to hear where are the benefits.
Go ahead.
What we have realized with marijuana so far, as I mentioned before, is that it has two essential components. One is the high that we get from the euphoria we get that people smoke it and they get high. The other one is it's a potent medicinal plant for pain, for retard the growth of cancer cells. It has multiple medicinal uses. What we are doing, we are carrying the research on two avenues at the same time. On the one hand, we are saying, let's find out the medicinal part of it. What good is it to us and in what ways it can be good?
Okay.
And on the other hand, we are saying this social part of it that's destructive to people's minds and so on, let us find out how destructive it is and bring that knowledge to the world.
Okay.
That when the world comes to the point that they have to make choices, they make wise choices.
Okay.
I can sit at my dining table and I can, in no time, eat so much food that the good food my wife prepares for me becomes destructive to me because I've just done too much of it. And research is like that. Unless we know the facts about what is valuable and what's not, then we are tempted to abuse any drug.
Okay.
And medical marijuana is along that line. That's point number one. Point number two is that for any economy, it is going to contribute within, it is one of the products, nutraceutical, that will contribute within the next 5 years or so, a monstrous sum of money, billions of dollars. Right now, it is generating nutraceuticals, not just medical marijuana, over 10 billion annually. And it is projected that within the next 5 years, it will be hundreds of billions of dollars that will come from that body of knowledge, of which medical marijuana is one.
But Doc, medical marijuana is already producing huge money in illicit.
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And some people are saying,
I'm just trying to reflect
No.
what our viewers are thinking now.
And it's true.
I have to represent them.
And it's true. The travesty is we're not using it for that which it is best to use.
Okay.
And that's why the research is taking place. And by the way, I need to be clear that we're not the only ones in it. We're just getting in it.
Okay.
And as a faith-based institution, we are committed to helping people understand what God has created and how best those things might be used is the way that we ought to go as believers, rather than just leave it up to everybody else and the secular world to decide on God's product, what God has produced and given to us to be used for good health.
Okay, so Doc, I'm going to leave that one with you.
Yes, sir.
And you remind me of Christ when he came. He turned the world upside down.
Upside down,
But
for a good purpose.
This has to be revisited, Doc. Because we got a lot of stuff to cover, I want to move on. Let's talk a little bit about the university. Many of the Seventh Adventist universities, key ones around the world, you have Oakwood, Breath of Life comes from there, and a beautiful church.
Yes.
And you have Andrews.
Yes.
Pioneer Memorial.
Yes.
The largest English-speaking university by enrollment
Yes.
in the Caribbean,
Yes.
Jamaica,
Yeah.
a country in which the General Conference President visited at least twice during his term.
That's
200 some countries.
That's correct.
And he came there twice. Must be something important about that place.
Yes.
No university church.
The agenda for the administration is to complete a university church. That agenda is about 30 years old from what I have learned, meaning different administration has put it as a priority, and it has been started at least 3 times and not yet accomplished. This administration has it as the number 1 project to be accomplished through funding by the church. We are working diligently to amass the requisite sum of money to see that, we actually build this church. As I understand it now, we are about, we are about $500,000. I may be off on my figure something toward the laying down the basic funds with which to begin to build the church. We're going to build it in phases, with the assurance that the church must represent Seventh-day Adventists. It must represent a university culture. And when you walk on the campus, you mustn't be looking to find it. It must make a statement on its own. Like if you walk on Andrews campus, if you walk on Oakwood campus, if you walk on Notre Dame, University of Notre Dame campus, those churches make statements about their faith and what it's for. We want to make that statement also. So we are working diligently on it. Our Vice President for Spiritual Affairs, that's his number 1 challenge, to get that accomplished, and he's working on it.
Reminds me of, they say whenever the Seventh-day Adventists put a tent in town, people know it's the Adventists.
Yes.
Well, you're going to put a permanent tent down there.
They will know.
In terms of a beautiful university church.
Indeed.
And you seem real excited about that.
I am excited about it.
Yes, great. And while we're talking about university church, what is spiritual life like at the university? I was at the university about, it had to been 5-6 years ago. I donated some robes and to the choir, and they called me up. I took my parents and for the dedication of the robes.
Okay.
And on that Sabbath, I saw the organist, a lady in pantsuit, on a Sabbath day, you know, and for me it was a culture shock.
Yes.
And I hope I and others didn't measure the spiritual atmosphere of the university on the basis of that. But nevertheless, it is what it is.
It is.
Right. So what's our spiritual life like, Daniel?
When I was interviewed for this position, one of the questions they asked me is, what am I going to do to lift the spiritual tone of the university? And I said then, I can't answer that question because I do not know what the spiritual tone is.
Okay.
And but when I get in the position, I certainly will have as an agenda to test the spiritual tone, to ascertain what it is, and if it's not where I think it should be, to lift it and make commitment to that. I, having assumed the position and in that position for 3 years now, we have done quite a bit to improve, increase, and advance the spiritual tone of the university. I will say to you now, you should not be surprised if you walk on that campus anytime during the day and see different pockets of students in different places in prayer, open, transparent in prayer. I should say to you that about 3 months ago, I made a statement in chapel which disturbed some people. But the statement was in context addressed to the entire university community, but in particular to our ministerial students. I was saying that we need a group of students who must be the model and the standard for what we want on this campus. And you are the ministerial students. Now, some people weren't, some of the ministerial students weren't happy with that. But I'm saying somebody needs to set a standard. Some group needs to hold that standard. And as a leader of the administration, we have had fasting and prayer as an administrative group, starting with the cabinet, going down to the admin council, and next month, first week of next month, we are moving on to we are moving on to the wider population of administrators, because we believe those on top must set the tone. and hold the rest responsible to live the style that we want to. At the same time, I want to say we have to be careful that we measure spirituality by a person's dress. Now, I'm not saying dress doesn't reveal something, but we have to be very cautious how we use that, because their state of development may help to facilitate where they are at a point of time. You know, but spiritual life is good on the campus.
Great. That's great to hear. Reminds me of my days when we different singing groups all over the campus, different.
Exactly.
That is. I'm sure that's encouraging to a lot of people.
We are rebuilding that. We are rebuilding.
Beautiful.
Right now we have about 5 choirs.
Yes.
And people are going out to sing quartets and so on. That we are rebuilding that.
Dr. Gardner, you have been in the Bahamas this past week.
Yes.
And I'm sure you didn't come here just for the sea, sun, and water, because your country is a very beautiful one as well.
Right.
You're here for a purpose. What is the real purpose you are here as the chief promoter of Northern Caribbean University?
I would like to take you back to an earlier question you asked.
Yes.
The days when Bahamians were just many of them on that campus.
Yeah.
I was a student there many years ago, even before your time.
Okay.
And that was true then.
Yes.
It was true in your time. I would like to see the flavor of Bahamians back on that campus. Back on that campus in the numbers that I was accustomed to.
Okay.
To bring their culture and enriching the environment as they used to. So I would like to go back saying, you know, I am sure we're going to have 50, 60 more Bahamians next year for September here.
Yes.
That's the real purpose.
Great. Now, Doc, one of your challenges, 2 challenges you have with accomplishing that.
Yes.
One, if you invite me up there with all expense paid for a week, I can bring 50. I can guarantee 50.
Good.
But the real reason, one of your real challenges, I think, is the other universities of the Southern and the Oakwoods and all of these. They come to our graduations and they give out 40,000 of scholarships, and your university gives out 1,000 and all that.
Yes.
How are you going to counteract that?
I think this year you will see, I am not sure we can match them, but I'm sure this year you're going to see something very different in terms of what we are able to put on the table to get Bahamian students. We want Bahamian students, Turk students and Cayman students. Yes.
Incidentally, Doc, I heard when you were on the campus, you sang in a quartet.
No.
Wasn't you?
No.
No. Okay.
I would be destroying.
You would be destroying. Yeah. You're not known for carrying it out.
No. I love music, but
yes.
No.
No. And Doc, you are from a family of doctors. Your wife is a doctor. In fact, I think she's significant in the program on natural health.
She's head of the health program there now.
Okay.
She's a physician, MD, but she's also trying to blend a nutraceutical with traditional health.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Now, Doc, I'm going to give you 30 seconds.
Yes.
30 seconds to look into the camera and appeal to those people that you want to come, those people that you want to come to NCU. I'll give you 30 seconds. Give us your best shot.
NCU was established 108 years ago. Its distinction from other universities is that as much as we get an intellectual curriculum that's strong from most any university, the spiritual essence that NCU adds to people's life give them a more holistic experience, physical, mental, spiritual, and social. That is what will make humanity a better place, and that's why Northern Caribbean University is where you should get your education.
Well, thank you very much. If you had to sum up everything Dr. Gardner and I would have discussed, it would be A, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Therefore, education and redemption are one. Yes. Thank you very much, Dr. Gardner. He's been a very engaging guest. He is the president of Northern Caribbean University. I've been your host, Keith Major.